These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here recording on Friday, May 3rd, in between the Celtics first round and second round series. We still don't know who they're playing. Maybe we do at the time this goes out, but we in this current present moment have no idea. So we're going to talk about toughness because the Celtics have talked about it a lot over the last couple of days. Jason Tatum talked about it during his post-Game 5 press conference, which I think was one of Tatum's best press conferences of the season. He was very open. He gave a lot of great answers. So it was really fun to hear him talk openly like that. He's usually more like give the standard PR answer, move on, but he was really good after Game 5. Before we get into that, though, reminder as always, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to How About Them Celtics. We'd appreciate it very much. Got content coming at you every single day. Anyways, let's jump into it. So post Game 5, Jason Tatum was asked about toughness. Obviously, they just finished up the series against the Heat. I don't think he was asked about it in the context of toughness. But so we have a Google Doc where we transcribe quotes after the games, and so the prompt as listed on that is, what do opposing teams think about the Celtics in terms of toughness? Basically, like that is looked at as the way you can beat the Celtics, right? The Celtics have all this talent, and so Tatum gave a great answer. He goes, "The world we live in, there's going to be something wrong with every team." That's what they like to say. And you can see how talented we are. And I think that's a lazy or easy to say that teams can, quote, out tough us. Never understood that. Like, what's the definition of tough? Having the louder guys in the team? That shit don't make you tough. Everybody has their own definition of what toughness is. Playing the right way, showing up every day to do your job without complaining. I think that's being tough. And I thought that was a really good, like, fuck yeah, Tatum. Like, that rocks. It goes back to the whole, like, Tatum, be like KG. Like, everybody is themselves. The Celtics are themselves, and you don't have to be this loud mouthing, screaming from the bench, punch everybody in the face toughness to be a quote tough team. And I really enjoyed his answer on that, and people expanded on it in practice. But I thought it'd be an interesting conversation to talk about it. So I thought it was a great answer from Tatum. Great thought, I suppose.
Yeah, he definitely gives like a different perspective on what toughness is. Because I feel like the consensus is the loud, crazy guys that are yelling at everybody and kind of trying to force an intensity to the game that might not always be there, or try and keep a high level of intensity in moments that it might not be necessary. The funny part of this is it comes after a series against the Heat. Heat, a team that literally printed all these dumbass words on their court about Heat culture this year. Shout out to Oliver Fox, who did the obituary for Celtics blog. He completely roasted them.
I need to read that.
And
I need to read that. I've heard it's so good.
he went in on him, and he kind of made fun of that. And it's very off character for it to be the truth, so take it with a grain of salt. But it did feel a little bit like Tatum was making fun of Heat culture, because everybody throughout the series was talking about how gritty, how tough, how physical Miami was, and it was why they won Game 2, and it was a reason the Celtics should be worried about them, us included, thinking about, like, no matter what, like, they're going to be there and they're going to compete no matter who's on their team, and like they're a team with toughness associated with them. And then the Celtics beat the brakes off of them for 3 straight games after losing Game 2. And then he comes out and he's like, what about toughness? What about toughness, huh? Oh, toughness isn't always that. It's keeping your head on straight. It's not saying anything and not pumping yourself up. And it's funny to hear that after you just literally beat a team that gassed themselves up, put the words on their court about how tough they are. A little bit funny. Probably not what he was saying, but have to think a little bit.
Very funny. Sorry, I'm on the hot spot, so hopefully I cut in and out at the right times. But I'll try to fix it in post editing if it gets messed up.
No issues.
Amazing. I like how we just both looked down at our phones and laughed at the same time because the Lakers just let Darvin Ham go. Shocker, who could have saw that one coming? But no, I think the toughness thing's super interesting because I do think there is. I mean, you saw the value in the Celtics just going about their business, doing everything. I wrote an article earlier this season called "The Celtics Are Basketball Robots." Why isn't that toughness? Why isn't the ability to just do the right thing, make the right play? Why isn't that toughness? Like, we've spent the entire last 2 seasons talking about how hard it is to make the right play and do the boring things over and over again. Why isn't that toughness, right? Like, that's not an easy thing to do. Joe Mazzulla talked about it at practice today. He said, yeah, I think he was dead on about it. It can be defined in a bunch of different ways. And I think sometimes the simplicity, the discipline to just do the right thing over and over again gets overlooked because you don't always see it. And so there obviously is a huge physicality standpoint, a toughness standpoint, rebounding, screening, but it's also a discipline in the details that you have to do it every single day. And I think that's really important. And then he was sort of asked, Adam Himmelsbach, I think, asked him, like, what do you make of the concept of other teams saying, like, oh, we can out tough the Celtics. We can, like, that's the way to beat them, out physical them. He goes, it's not to say, like, that's what they think. It's just at the end of the day, the toughest team is going to win. And like I said, it could be physically tough, it could be mentally tough, it could be emotionally tough. Like, I think the toughest team is going to win who can outwill the other team, who can make the right plays, who can execute at the highest level, who can execute the game plan, who can rebound. So I think it's a little bit of everything. But we do talk about how to be those different levels of toughness throughout the game and where opportunities present themselves. And I really like the layers of everything. Like, it's so easy for a fan to look at a play and be like, oh, that's toughness because player X, stood up for his teammate and like Al Horford pushed Bam Adebayo out of the way, right? Like, that's toughness. It's so easy to look at, like, this player just screamed in this player's face. That's toughness. But, like, I wrote this in my article the other night. Was Drew Holiday diving out of bounds to save a loose ball toughness? Was Jaylen Brown going up like Randy fucking Moss and grabbing the ball from two Heat players toughness? Was Al Horford grabbing 2 offensive rebounds in a row toughness? Like, why does toughness have to be violence? Why is that what we've come to associate with toughness? Like, toughness is just the mindset and the mentality and the ability to do things the right way and play hard and play the right way. And I think when Joe says, like, mentally tough, emotionally tough, and those things, like, that is not things like that's almost a what's the word? Like, when the two things that go together but they don't. I can't think of it, but, like, uh idio I don't know what it is. But it's like
Oxymoron?
oxymoron. Yeah, like emotionally tough is almost like an oxymoron because people be like, oh, they're too emotional, they're not tough. Like, that is like a thing that has become a weird standpoint when in reality, like, it is an important thing to be emotionally tough, to be mentally tough in these situations. And I think that gets overlooked a lot, especially with a team like the Celtics, who has had such consistent, sustained success throughout the regular season, who just went about their business in the first round. They dropped a game because of, again, I'm going to say it, a ridiculously historical. Like, if those other 4 games in the series don't convince you that what happened in game 2 was a complete fluke, then I don't know what will. But, like, they just went about their business, man. Why isn't that toughness? And I think that's a really fun, important perspective that a lot of fans don't appreciate enough. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 3 million members. It is the easiest and most exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. You just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats and watch all the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into 1,000 with basketball, hockey, college basketball entries today on Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. One of our favorite picks here at the How About Them Celtics podcast is the Drew Holiday blocks. It's usually 0.5. He just needs more than 0.5 blocks. That means 1 Drew Holiday block. And that pick is in the bag. Prize Picks is really simple to play. I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Yeah, and I think that's like a really good summary of it all. You pointed all these different things the Celtics did well, and it was something you could credit to their toughness. Another example is Porzingis going 1 of 9 in game 2, and he comes out and balls out in game 3. Like, that is mentally, emotionally tough after, people starting to speculate a little bit. Oh, is this guy not a playoff player? No, he's fine. He's a little injured now, but he was mentally fine. And he came out and dominated early in that game and set the tone for the Celtics. So, that mindset's in him, it's in everybody else, and they should be able to handle their business going forward. Now, the thing that you could ask and why this is a good conversation for us to have now is looking down the line. Okay, as of 2 p.m. on Friday, we don't know if it's going to be Orlando or Cleveland, but if it's Orlando, they are a young team, a team that plays defense, and a tough team. They work hard, they hustle. Jalen Suggs is a guy, Jonathan Isaac is a guy. They're going to give you problems hustling, being tough. Are the Celtics going to be able to match that? It's a question. Further down the line, if they play the Knicks just beat Philly in a series because they worked their asses off and hit the offensive glass at a higher percentage than anybody, I think, ever in a playoff series. Or at least in one of the games, they had the highest offensive rebound percentage ever. So that's going to be something that is not only a physical ask in toughness, which is boxing out, battling underneath for the boards, but also a mental toughness that is, oh, okay, we're not going to get defeated just because this is happening. We are going to buckle down and fix it instead of just melting and being like, I guess they're just working harder than us. These are all relevant storylines going forward and things to watch for on this toughness front. But right now, it seems like the Celtics have done a great job finding their footing there. And I'm going to go back to game 2. It was disastrous. I lost my mind after it. I was pissed. I was flipping out. Thought they might be chalked, etc. However, they came out, didn't make any overreactions, didn't adjust too much, and then they just beat the brakes off of them for 3 games. They didn't get nervous, they didn't get moved, they didn't get taken off their line. So good on them. It was an impressive punch back from the Celtics, and it's not necessarily something I'm confident we would have seen last season, at least to this degree. You might have still won the series, but like maybe not dominantly for 3 straight games, just beating them down.
Well, I think this almost goes back into something I wrote earlier this season about how like why Missoula is the right coach for this team, because you have the talent. You just need the guy who can get everybody to buy into the same mindset, to the same mentality, to the same ideals, to the same things. That's what Missoula has done over and over and over again consistently. Like even Al was asked about this toughness at practice today, and he was like, "Oh, Tatum, said that teams try to out tough you guys," and Al just goes, "That's a thing." Like he just like laughed. He's like, "What?" Like that's a thing. And he goes, "Yeah, I mean, I just think that we're consistent with our approach. We try to do things that we need to do to win. And I think our play kind of speaks for itself. All year we've been consistent defensively, defending, rebounding, and on offense, trying to execute the best that we can. So I think our work speaks for itself." It's like you don't need toughness in the sense of throwing punches and screaming in guys' faces. In the ability to play the right way at a consistent level. And that's what the Celtics have done. And I think that's all that matters at the end of the day. And I've said it a million times on here. I think there's an overrated portion to, oh, go get you guy who'll rough someone up. Like, no, like you don't need someone to rough you up. You need someone who will just play the right way. And if you have a whole team buying in to the same mindset and playing the right way every single night, and you have the talent to just do it consistently, like that why isn't that, like, that should be toughness too. And so I really enjoyed Tatum's perspective. I enjoyed the responses we got at practice today. I'm excited to see them continue to show that consistency throughout the playoffs. That would be pretty cool if you ask me. I would like that very much.
Yeah, I would love for them just to be consistent the whole time. Unfortunately, we haven't had a whole lot of that over the last few seasons. So if we got it this year, it would be an ideal time for it with, I mean, listen, this kind of happened last year. But with the Red Seas parting for you to waltz to the finals, please be consistent. Please. No longer asking. Just go out there, take care of your business. No matter which team it is that you see in the second round, you should be able to handle both of them, regardless if Porzingis is healthy. Then if you get to the Knicks, having watched that Philadelphia series, as much as they went in and took those games, and they outworked the Sixers, glaringly, you could watch the game and just have a complete understanding. Oh, the Knicks stayed, I guess, locked in and mentally tough when the game got close. They didn't resort to falling over, even though Brunson break checked somebody yesterday in the clutch. And they just buckled down and won those games. They are not more talented than the Celtics. They are a team the Celtics should be able to beat. It's just a question of whether or not the Celtics are going to be able to match the intensity that they bring, and they should be able to. They should. They have excellent players who all want to win. They should be able to do it.
Yeah. We'll see. Let us know what you guys think. about the whole toughness thing in the comments. We've had plenty of commenters over the years talking about this exact topic, so I'm curious to see what y'all think. Make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to How About Them Celtics. We'd appreciate it very much, and I'll let Sam wrap it up.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads. We're coming at you with something new at 5 a.m., whether it's a full pod Tuesday, Thursday, or one of the weekend days. We believe it'll be Sunday this week. Game recaps the morning after. Anything else in between. And then we're live for Talking C's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, tentatively. We're live for Celtics the Roundtable at around 6 p.m. on Tuesdays. And we're live for pregame. Half hour before every single game, we will be here chopping it up. So come hang out. Hit the bell. Leave likes. We appreciate it. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. If you follow us there, our full pods and game recaps will be right in your feed when you open up the app. So definitely follow us. Leave us a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that. We'd also appreciate if you emailed us. hbtcpod@gmail.com is the address for that. If you reach out to us, you can send your thoughts on the Celtics, whatever their last game was, what you're looking to see in the next series. Send your rat list. We just like to have you guys be a part of the show, so definitely reach out. You can find us on socials at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. The Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can find our streams there and on YouTube and on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is Jack Simone NBA. Mine is at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.